Better off just buying an air conditioner, right? Okay. Now, how many people have a house with electric heat? Your house is heated electrically. You don't have natural gas, you don't burn oil, you don't burn wood. They may have this, nobody has this. Here's the problem, right? If you live in the country, you can heat your house with wood, you can heat your house with oil, a truck can come by and deliver oil. If you want to run on gas, it's got to be propane, and a big truck comes along and fills you have one of those huge propane tanks, right? But there's no natural gas pipeline leading to your house in the country. There's no well, there's no sewer. You got to have your own well, your own septic system, right? Yes, yes? Okay. So the question is, if you want to put electrical heat into your house, there's two ways to do it. Now, did somebody say they had electrical heat? Yes? You think you do. Now, do you have baseboard heaters? Or do you have like just forced air, like central? When the heat comes on, do you hear a fan running? No.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, there you go. So you have a heat pump. Now, if you get an apartment, if you rent an apartment, pay very careful attention to how it's heated. Because say you go to college and the dormitory is too expensive for you, and it's like almost as much as college itself. Staying in the dorms is crazy, right? So you rent an apartment which is somewhat cheaper, right? Pay very careful to how they heat it, because if they use the little baseboard heaters, that's just brutal. You put in a kilowatt kilowatt hour of electricity, you get a kilowatt hour of heat. That heat bill is going to be $100 to $200 a month in the winter. So you take your rent of $500, add $200, that's not so cheap, right? Okay. So look around and factor that into the price of it. If it has baseboard heaters, you know what they look like? They're basically like toasters, only they don't get red hot. Right? And they're just there along the base, right below the windows typically, right? If they have those, that's expensive, okay? We had that. See, my wife, when we moved to Portland, we rented an apartment. They don't do electric heat in Minnesota. It's just, yeah, they don't do electric heat in Minnesota because it's, no, not in the ground, but just those little things that get warm. No fans run.
Like in the hotel room.
Yes, kind of, but those have fans in them. Typically, those are like hot water systems or something like that. So, yeah, go ahead, right? So here's the story. We moved to Oregon, and our electric bill in the middle of the winter is like $200. My wife calls the electric company. She goes, "There's got to be a mistake," and they're like, "No, that's how much electric heat costs," like that. Now, Taran, on the other hand, has a system that's probably, if a fan is running like that, it's probably a heat pump. Now think about this. Okay, you live in Oregon, right, and you want to heat your house. Well, here's the efficient way to do it with electricity. If you live in the country and you want an electric heater, this is what you do, is you put the hot side inside your house. It's like an air conditioner backwards, right? Okay, hot side's in the house, cold side is Oregon. Yeah? Okay, now what they'll say on these things is they'll say, okay, you know, if this is, let's say this is 10 joules, right, and this is 100 joules, then you're getting for 10 joules or 10 kilowatt hours of electricity, you're getting 110, kilowatt hours or joules or something like that, right? So they'll say it's more than 100% efficient, but it's not really, right? You're making Oregon colder, aren't you? Yeah? But who cares? Right? So that's sort of the way those things work, is that they pump the heat from outside the house to inside the house, and that's a way to leverage with just a little bit of energy expenditure, get a lot of heat into your house, right? This is not so expensive. If you have a heat pump, it's like maybe a little more than natural gas, right? If you've got baseboard heaters, forget it. I mean, it's $100, $200 for a little bitty apartment. So, all right, enough of that.